I've believed this for a long time now, before it was cool, and now all of a sudden it's coming out like everyone is starting to believe this. It's kind of funny, but that Taylor Swift is being propped up by the powers that be to date Kelsey from Kansas City Chiefs, be at all the games, all the stuff, and then the reason was to promote Michelle Obama as the president of the United States here in a few months. That Michelle Obama would come out on stage with Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift would really promote, hey, go. We actually have vote. You can register to vote here at the concert, and you guys need to go out and vote for Michelle Obama because the country's going to be destroyed by a dictator if not.
So I think that your prediction is very detailed in that you believe there's going to be someone else running for president. I think that for a lot of people in the last few weeks that have mentioned this theory, it doesn't have to be Michelle Obama. It could be Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, whoever.
But it'll be Michelle.
That's what you think?
Yes.
Okay. So I have a thought about this because when Jordan mentioned this on the podcast a few weeks ago, and then I started seeing like news articles about this circulating, and then it sort of became this right-wing conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift isn't op or whatever. What? That was confusing to me because, like, to me, like that doesn't feel like a conspiracy theory. She's endorsed people before. It's like this is a thing that could happen. Like, why is this conspiracy? I don't know. Maybe because it's like, the government is propping her up. Why not? I mean, the government does that kind of stuff all the time. Governments all over the world do that kind of stuff all the time. Why?
Why is the United States special?
Yeah, right? But the United States has done that kind of stuff before. And I don't consider myself right-wing, but I would have thought of this even without Jordan mentioning it.
Then Biden goes on TV and just looks like bad. Like he looks like he doesn't know what is going on, like he usually does. Everybody was like, Biden, your memory is bad. Well, they were like destroying him. Yeah. And I thought, okay, there's clearly not going. They're not going to run this guy.
Yeah, something weird's going on.
So it's got to be Michelle. Who is it going to be?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
So what's your theory? Why is it not Michelle?
Well,
I'm trying to figure out where you were going.
Yeah, I don't have a theory about this. I think that with every week that passes, your theory becomes less and less likely, unless we're gearing up for...
No, I mean, it's becoming more and more likely. How is it becoming less
because
likely?
Because we need to start hearing announcements about things going on.
No, that they're going to do that in the next couple of months. I'm saying, like, there's a very specific, and I was looking this up, there's a very specific time period that they need to replace somebody, and that time period has not come yet.
Okay.
They want to do it at that time. Why would you do it any sooner? Okay. You want to give people, Josh, just like at an auction.
I'm not.
You want to give people a feeling of like, hey, we're out of time. You guys need to do this now. Right. You know, instead of being like, hey, you have all the time in the world.
I'm not saying. I don't think he's running again.
Yeah.
I just am not sure it's going to be her. That's all I'm saying. My thought about Taylor Swift and the Taylor Swift of all this. It occurred to me because the annoying thing about celebrities is it always is, well, the other side is so bad that we just got to vote for this person.
Yeah.
Every time, right? And people that are on the other side say the same thing. Well, we got to vote for this guy because the other people are so bad. There's no critical thought given to like, hey, aren't they all terrible? Like, shouldn't we be working to
recalibrate this
he or he, like it has to be one or the other all the time? It finally occurred to me. I was like, what if you had a celebrity like Taylor Swift come out and make a statement and say, hey, I am going to make an endorsement. I'm endorsing an independent candidate because I agree that such and such guy is terrible, but that doesn't mean that this other guy gets my vote because he's terrible too.
Okay, you're telling me that is more likely than Michelle Obama running for president.
No. I'm saying I'm just speculating that would be a very interesting thing that could happen.
Oh, of course, that would be more interesting than anything happening. But that's like the most unlikely thing ever.
Yeah, I agree. Right? I agree.
That if Taylor Swift actually did that, all of my beliefs in conspiracy theories would be completely gone.
I'm not. Look. Maybe you misunderstood me. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I don't think there's any world where that's going to happen.
So I'm confused. Why are you saying that? Why did you say that? That's like the most unlikely thing ever,
I just
right?
wanted to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Well, we can talk about anything that's going to give me hope, but it's not going to happen.
Should I put this in? It gave me hope.
Yeah, like we mix and match. I
had a thought. This is not going to happen, but it made me feel good for a minute. Think about what a Chad move that would be to be like, I'm not bought by anybody. I think you're all corrupt, and I'm picking the Green Party candidate. I'm picking just this random independent guy. Or you know what? I'm just throwing a name out there, and I'm hoping they'll run. I don't trust any of you people.
Yeah, it would be. I just can't believe that after all this time, after all of these things are starting to fall in place, and you're seeing the articles about Michelle Obama running, that you're saying that my theory is less likely. You said it's less and less likely.
Every week that passes, I think it becomes a little less likely.
Oh.
Until the point when, God forbid, something happens. He passes away or something. And then all of a sudden it's sort of like this national crisis moment. Like, what do we do? Who's it going to be? Who's going to be? And then everything is out the window. And then you might see a situation where, like, she gets nominated.
Yeah, my question is, if he passes away, what, like, see, if Biden passes away,
did his food tester just
right, what happened?
Not show up that day?
If Biden passes away because the food tester didn't show up, like, that makes every conspiracy that I believe in this world to be completely valid. If Taylor Swift says she's voting for somebody completely independent and cannot be bought, then all of the conspiracies are out the window.
Right. That's exactly
Moon landing, all that stuff is gone. Yeah. I believe everything. I am still holding with my theory. I really believe it.
I really was not saying that I thought that was going to happen.
What?
But that she'll endorse an independent candidate or the celebrity will.
Yeah.
But I will say that I think something like that happening, maybe not with Taylor Swift, probably not ever, but with a major celebrity, I think that's more likely to happen now than it was even like 3 or 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Oh.
I think you could see something like that, like paradigm shifts over the course of the next decade. I think you might see those things start to happen as things continue to devolve, and we keep having to just pretend, well, you got to vote for me because he's evil. No, you got to vote for me because he's evil. And it just
maybe not with the Katy Perrys and the Taylor Swifts of the world, but maybe with like rap artists who at least have some kind of spine, in some way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could see that. It could come from places that you wouldn't expect, but that also are very influential.
Yeah,
and then
these people look like old news because like why are they still
it's like, oh, come on, I'm still telling you to vote for this guy.
Yeah, then who knows?
Come on, go Biden.
We were going to talk about the Super Bowl. We were going to talk about that. We were going to talk about...
What do you want to talk about the Super Bowl?
Well, I was just saying that was going to be another thing that makes it more likely. Like, my theory was that the Chiefs were going to win, and they won, Josh, in the most... In the best way possible for the NFL to make the most money. It was in overtime. They made all the money on the ads. It was they came back and they won at the last second. Taylor Swift ran out onto the field, was crying. Kelsey made this speech.
Did he propose?
No, exactly. No, he didn't propose.
Should have proposed.
But I was just, I didn't watch the game, but it was like 10 p.m. and I was like, oh, I wonder who won. So I searched and it was like in overtime. I was like, oh, okay, great. So I'm watching Anna Green Gables, So that ends and I'm like, okay, let's see if it, and it was like, oh, it ended with 3 seconds left and the Chiefs won. And I watched the final play and I don't think the NFL is like rigged, like where they're telling players not to play. Like if it's rigged, it would be the referees calling certain things. But the last play just seemed like the guy wasn't even trying. It's like the last play of his life on,
the Niners guy wasn't trying?
And it was like, it just was the most botched play I'd ever seen. I was like, this looks like, if I was out on the field, I would have you feel like you would want to make more of an effort. But who knows? It just seemed weird to me, even though I don't think that it was rigged. I'm not saying that, but if it were, it looked like it was.
Yeah.
The likeliness of that happening.
Right.
With Taylor Swift there and then Michelle going to come out. It's just like there's too many things that are happening perfectly for them to get the most eyes on something and to get the most tweets and the most people talking about the most articles. It just seems more and more likely every time anything happens.
Well, to give you a little bit of hope as we wrap up this section, I think that the fact that they feel like they have to come out and say, look at this new conspiracy theory, I think that's some sort of admission that
we had at least thought about it in the pipeline. Like that was,
like they're like, we gotta disparage this real quick because this is just a conspiracy. Like,
yeah, but then what happens when it happens?
right?
You know, then what do you say?
Right, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, it feels like people flailing around, trying some different things. Nothing's working.
That's what it does. It does feel like that.
So, all right, still a developing story.
It is. We'll get back to it and see what happens.